guys, welcome back again to my YouTube channel. Jovita Ume here, and in this short video I am going to show you an alternative in case you don't want to use an eyelet for your dress. It's called loophole. You can use any fabric or preferably a bias for this. It's a very simple and quick tutorial. Hit the subscribe button and let's get started. So first is to cut out a long material like 40 inches long, depending on how many you want the loophole to be. Then use it and sew something like a tiny belt. If you are using a bias, just fold the bias and run a stitch on it to form a rope. As you can see, I am already sewing the rope here with the long fabric that I cut out. After sewing it, I will cut off excess thread. This is the rope. I will fold it like this and cut it out. This will be the length of the loops and it's 3 inches. You can decide to make yours 2 inches depending on how short or long you want your loop to be. I will go ahead and use this very one to cut out other loops. This is for one side of the back and it's 6. Next is to cut out another 6 for the other side of the back, and that's exactly what I am doing here. So now it's completely 12 in number. I will get one side of the back and start placing the loop like this, one after the other. Fold the loop into 2 and place it like this, then stitch through with 1/2 inch. Get the second one. You can decide to give it a style by twisting it like this before folding it. On the second mark, now for the spacing, after placing the first one, you can decide to give 1 to 2 inches gap before placing the second one, depending on how you want it. Here I gave 2 inches space, then placed the second loop. Stitch through it with 1/2 inch. Measure 2 inches from the second loop. Mark it out with your chalk. Get the third loop, fold it into 2, place it on the mark and stitch it down. Give 2 inches gap, mark it out with your chalk. Get the fourth loop, fold it into 2, place it on the mark and stitch it down. Give 2 inches gap again, mark it out with your chalk. Get the fifth loop and stitch it down. Please, for this last one, I forgot to say this earlier. Before you start stitching down the loops, first mark out the spaces, or rather where to place the loop, with your chalk to avoid any mistake. Make sure to measure it well and confirm that the loops you cut out will fit in well without anyone being longer or shorter than the other. Also leave hem allowance below depending on what you used as your hemming allowance. Here mine I used 1/2 inch because I will still use bias to hem the down part, which means that 1/2 inch is my hemming allowance. So I made sure to leave 1/2 inch below before placing the last loop, like so. I will cut off the excess thread, and as you can see, I am done stitching down the loops. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, the 5th, and then the 6th one. The next thing I'm going to do is to cover the stitches with a bias. So cut out a bias the same length as the center back, like so. Then for the first stitching, I will place it like this on the loops and start stitching. Please watch closely. You already know how bias is. So I am stitching through inside one of the fold. I will stitch it all through down to the hemline. After the first stitching, this is how it is. Next, I will turn to the back like this and close back the bias from the other fold by turning and folding it like this. I believe you are following, please. It's time for the final stitch. After turning it, I will take it to my sewing machine and stitch through the other edge of my bias from up down to the hemline. You can go ahead and hem the down part of your blouse. After that, I will get the other side of the back. Also, get the remaining loop and start stitching down just like we did for the other side. Don't forget to first mark out with your chalk and tape. Measure and mark out from up to the hemline before you start placing. And also, do not forget to leave your hemming allowance before placing the last loop. Please also ensure that the loops of the 2 sides of the back are in the same line, to avoid one being shorter or longer than the other. After stitching, get a bias and use it to turn and cover your stitch. You can decide to turn yours with lining if you don't want to use a bias. So guys, after sewing for the second side of the back, Now this is how to lace it up. Sew a long rope or you can use ribbon. Here, my own rope, I attached it to my sleeve as you can see. I have gone ahead to pass the rope through the first loophole. I will keep passing it till I get to the last loophole. I will drag it to snatch the waist well before tying, and this is it guys. It's very neat and fine. You can decide to tie it at the back or at the front like so. Please guys, give me a thumbs up if this was helpful. Drop a nice comment and share this video with your friends, as this will tremendously help grow my YouTube channel. Also, check the description box for our social media pages and follow us there. Please click on this picture to subscribe now. Thank you so much for watching till now. I will see you in my next one. Bye.